Hey guys, what's up? I'm Arthars. I'm an MMORPG player and I stream on twitch.tv/Arthars. I mainly play MMORPG and currently I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV mainly. But I do play a lot of MMORPG over the years. I started playing Asheron's Core, EverQuest, Star Wars Galaxy, and FF11, FF14, some WoW here and there. So I play a lot of MMORPG. I like to give every MMORPG a chance and or every expansion. Shadowlands, I played a lot. I done everything in the game, from Mythic Plus to raiding, hugging Heroic, all the way until clearing Mythic, Castle Natria. Before 9.1 comes out, I got my cutting edge. That was really good. That was really good. I actually thought Shadowlands release was really good. I know despite how bad Shadowlands overall is, I thought Shadowlands release was really good, even as a side sub MMORPG. So I'm really excited for Dragonflight that is coming out this December. And a big thank you for Blizzard and especially the Southeast Asia Blizzard team for giving me this opportunity to testing this alpha build for Dragonflight. I always keep my opinion very unbiased. I'm just gonna mainly compare my experience for Shadowlands release and this alpha for now because I want to see what's the difference. I want to see is Dragonflight going to be as exciting as Shadowlands when it first released. There's a reason why it stopped in 9.1. I think a lot of you WoW players already know what happened in 9.1 and beyond, you know, the downfall of Shadowlands, right? I don't want to talk too much about it, but hopefully Dragonflight is a brand new start. And hopefully, even after the launch, in the future patches, they can keep up and just make Dragonflight better. So yeah, I'm gonna start going through things that I can explore on or test out. So yeah, let's go. Honestly, I don't know where to begin here. So I'm just gonna record through this and then I will let my editor do the job. It could be all over the place, so I'll leave it to him to curate it. So in the alpha test for this press event, I can make more characters, but I just made a few here. Obviously, you know, the new one, the Evoker, which I'll go through later. But because I'm mainly a DK player, right, in Shadowlands, I made a DK so that I can immediately jump in and find out the difference between Dragonflight and Shadowlands for the limited time I played during Shadowlands, right? I already done a little bit of things here and there already. I didn't go too much into questing because like questing obviously is very linear, typical questing, typical MMORPG leveling process, right? The first thing I did is I went to look at this specialization and the talent and I noticed that this is the major revamp that they're doing for the Dragonflight. So obviously specialization is still there, you still, you know, for DK at least, Blood, Frost and Unholy still. I mainly play Unholy for Raid and Mythic Plus, but usually for leveling I go Blood, right? Just so I can not die. I wish I had my own template on my UI so that I can immediately do like a one-to-one exchange or one-to-one comparison. But looking at this new talent tree, which as you can see over here in Wowhead, it does look that all this array known information, so I don't really have to go through it. You can find this on Wowhead. When I compare it to the in-game, it does look like they are the same. And just me remembering what skills that I used to put on my Blood DK hotbar, it does seem like if I were to just go through some of these tree, it populates my hotbar almost the same as I had before in Shadowlands. But obviously I'm not max level, right? At the moment they give me level 65. I think the max you can go to 70. I'm not sure whether this alpha you can go up to 70. Honestly, I'm not gonna spend all my time just doing story, right? Just, you know, leveling. But it does seem like every level, obviously, you gain a couple of points here and there. And just based on level 65, it does look like I'm able to at least populate easily almost 2/3. I would assume by 70, we can pretty much cover most of the important skills that we all gonna get. I'm pretty sure there are some new skills. Before Dragonflight, we are only given the 1 in 3 choice for every lane, right? I noticed that there's a lot of useless abilities. There's a lot of skills that are like super outdated. They were just there for the reason being there. They never revamped it all the way until Dragonflight. There are some new abilities, like I don't think this ability like consumption over here is not there. It's interesting to see that A-bomb limb is just default DK skill now. You know, it used to be a Necrolord skill, right? They are not doing the conduit. They are not doing the Covenant system anymore. So it's nice to see they revamped this whole thing finally. And most of the stuff here seems to be pretty useful and or similar to Shadowlands. And like I said earlier, while you level up to 70, I'm pretty sure you can populate 2/3 of each tree. You know, they got the DK talent and then they have spec talent, so that's really nice. I see some of this thing here that is interesting for me to find out eventually, you know, what are the builds and what people will use. Like Blood DK gets Soul Reaper. That's interesting, right? That's interesting for me. I don't want to go too much into this because I think Wowhead probably covered this and you guys probably know this more than me already. But even though they revamped the system, but most of the things are useful and we are able to still populate our hotbar just like we did in Shadowlands. I can see, you know, you can probably fine-tune a little bit based on your playstyle, based on the situation, whether you are doing PvP, Mythic Plus, or you are doing raiding. Pretty sure someone out there, the experts, will find like a meta build, so I don't really have to go through it. For now, I'm just populating it just like how I would have the skills just for leveling. Obviously, the PvP talent tree is still there. I think you still choose 3 and you can, you know, choose from the list. So I think that covers mainly the talent tree. I was expecting, right? Like just now, as you guys saw on Wowhead, they showcase a few, right? What about the others that they didn't show? So I actually made a few characters so that I can at least check some of the classes. Like, you know, I played Demon Hunter in Legion. I wanted the Warlock in Shadowlands, but never get a time or chance to try it. So when I log in, I was a little bit disappointed, but kind of expected. This is just very early alpha build, right? You can see some of these classes not listed here, still doesn't have their talent tree yet. I would assume this alpha, you know, when it opens to the public, I would assume that we don't get a chance to try the new talent tree system for some of these classes, which is a bummer. But one interesting thing is, I noticed they never talk much about the Evoker class. After seeing like Warlock and Demon Hunter not having the talent tree, I was quite surprised that Evoker actually have it. So there's actually a lot of juicy new information here, but I'm gonna leave this for later because this is mainly just gonna be, you know, talking about Evoker, right? But for now, I want to talk about talent tree. I think it's a long coming revamp that I think a lot of WoW players wanted. You know, so yeah, that's pretty good. Next, I think another new feature that they added in for Dragonflight is the UI change, right? Which come as a surprise, you know. This game has been around for like what, 15 years plus? I find it funny how outdated its UI still is. When I play Vanilla, and then I play Legion, and after that I play Shadowlands all the way to 9.1. And then I was like, dude, they did not change the UI at all. So for me, it was like, I considered it almost unplayable with the default UI. Now, I know there are some pure breeds out there that still run default UI. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys keep track of things all over the screen. But I think this time they finally adding it in, right? Sadly, I think in this alpha build, at the moment, we can only do hotbar customization. You know, on the Dragonflight website, right? They were showing things like you can drag this element like your character portrait, the monster, your target portrait to near the hotbar. But for this alpha build, I can't do it. I mean, obviously, it's alpha. Obviously, it's work in progress. I would love to see what type of customization they allow you to do. You know, is it like fully customizable, like, you know, the main game I play, you know, like Final Fantasy? Now, will everybody use this? Will the people who already use plugin stop using the UI plugin and start using the in-game one? I don't think so. You know, it's like, I mean, FF11 back then, they have windower, and then when Square Enix finally make their own windower, it's like nobody use them. Like UI changes, finally you got a built-in one. Will people still use them after using the community build plugin add-ons? I'm not sure. So that one we need to see, but definitely it's needed. It's needed. You're talking about a 2022 modernized MMO, if you may, you know, World of Warcraft now also becoming a modernized MMO, right? So these are elements that obviously needs to be there already. Once they finish the whole thing, it's a nice quality of life. But otherwise, is it groundbreaking? Will everybody just convert into using the default one? I don't think so. Next, I want to talk about probably the most interesting mechanic that they added in Dragonflight, which is obviously the dragon riding. I never have the chance to like get to play the game deep enough where flying becomes a thing. Usually they add in flying after a couple patch, right? So it's interesting to me that on launch, World of Warcraft have kind of like a flying system. Now, it's not full flight control. It's not like, you know, permanent flying, right? But, you know, it's interesting to see that this thing is implemented right immediately on the expansion. Now, I'm not sure whether when we get dragon riding, is it when you get max level or is it just at the very beginning? But at least for this alpha build, they immediately gave us two of these mounts. They give us this Windborn Velocidrake, and then they give us this renewed Proto Drake, right? Like these two different mounts for us to try. So rather than just running point A to point B on the ground that usually, you know, a new expansion, the very early patches that you do for, you know, traveling from point A to point B minus the flight path, doing your world quest, blah, blah, you are just riding, right? It's interesting to see that now immediately we get some sort of like a flying system. Now, this reminds me a lot of like Ion, games that have like gliding system. You know, you put on your glider, you put on your wings, and then you start flying or gliding in open world, doing quests and stuff, right? This one is quite interesting, you know. They have this thing called a vigor. You can use your ability, like you can see there's a surge forward and there's a flip upward. It's based on this vigor, and you gain vigor while you're on foot, basically. So while you're flying, then you eat up this vigor and then you can start flying and you don't gain your vigor recharge over here. For now, right, let's just say I need to go to this point for my quest. Rather than just riding and running, I can actually just use the glide. And this guy is kind of like, you know, it's kind of like perma flying because you can just glide all the way. But even if I'm near the ground, I can actually still glide. And obviously, you know, if you do some specific action, you can glide faster and stuff. You can gain momentum, like, you know, they show you in the trailer and whatnot. You know, you can gain momentum, you can fly faster. But within the air, you can do this action. Okay, right now I don't have enough vigor. Let me gain some vigor. Oh, vigor is spent by dragon riding ability. And it also recharges while flying at high speed. So technically speaking, if you can gain some sort of momentum or motion, movement, you can actually gain almost unlimited flight time, right? Like a mechanic, it's not like free flight. It's a nice introduction, right? I think it's for me, this is one of the most interesting features that they implement at the beginning of the game. You know, it's also very simple, right? You just double space and then you start gliding. You can use your ability. Like if I press 2, I can gain higher, I can fly higher. And then if I press number 1, I can go high speed. Oh, yeah. See, if I fly at high speed, I gain my vigor. So that's pretty nice. This is pretty good for, I would say, for leveling. Rather than running and wasting time doing your usual fetch quest, this is gonna speed up a lot, I guess. And you can see, you can keep gliding, obviously, but if you do like no momentum, you will just start falling down. If you jump off cliff, you are just normally gliding now, so there's no need to worry about fall damage. There are mini games I think you can find over here. I'm not sure what's the purpose of this. Maybe it's like a tutorial, or maybe there are things that you can unlock via these courses. I think it's pretty interesting. You know, like you can gain capability like that to traverse in the open world, like very early in the game. You don't have to really wait for you know, flying to be fully unlocked. You can do stuff like this to move around really. For me, this is probably the most exciting feature for this time I spent in the alpha. Because like I said, playing World of Warcraft, usually at early patches or expansion, we don't get flying. So it was very troublesome going point A to point B aside from the flight path. So able to unlock this feature, right? Kind of, in a way, unlock flying early. Yeah, pretty interesting for me. This is probably the most useful thing they add. At least for now. I hope this is early levels. And not like some, you know, post-leveling, max level shenanigans, you know? Okay, this course is really long. What the hell? I assume this is like a tutorial. Wait, it's not done yet? Are we done yet? Wow, this is really long. I actually never finished this whole thing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, I assume these challenges maybe will unlock some achievement or maybe more skills. Because at the moment, these two mounts that they give are the same skills, right? You know, that we can use Vigor on. Like I said earlier, just a search upward and search forward. So maybe they'll add in more skills. One day, if they have unlocked flying, then I don't know what is the point of this dragon riding. But if this is gonna be the main flying system in Dragonflight, then I can see how this would be easily expandable and made more interesting. Okay, now the most important one, I guess, that they didn't actually tell us to try out. You know, they have a checklist to tell us how to get started, right? What are the new things that we can dive right into? I covered the UI, I covered the talent tree, I covered the dragon riding, which is super brief, right? I'm not gonna make like a super comprehensive video. I just want to go through it really quick. And then, you know, for you guys, when you guys get to test it out yourself, then you guys can explore more. But one thing they didn't really say is the Evoker, the new race. They didn't actually like tell us to try that. Of course, we are not gonna miss the opportunity, right? We see it over there at character creation. We see it over here. And then obviously, you can play Evoker with this, which is I think the new class. So might as well give it a go, right? So I made a character and I was expecting, like I said earlier, just like Demon Hunter and a Warlock, where they don't have the talent tree. And I was surprised to see that this class is probably fully playable at the moment, right? Maybe still need balancing and stuff, but this is new. So obviously, I don't know what they do. I don't want to waste my time going through this. You know, a couple of days later when this alpha is fully released to the public, I'm pretty sure you guys can try out the beta, you guys can try this out, and then we'll have the min-maxer to do the right thing. And then I will try in the future test. But obviously, I'm still gonna try to go through because I think this is new information. I don't think this is like anything that they show you too much. I'm not gonna play it now yet. I'm gonna let the expert do the min-maxing, the trees, yada yada. And then in the next beta test, I will play this class more. Right now, I got limited time, but I don't wanna waste this opportunity to maybe, you know, show you guys things that maybe you don't already know. But of course, I'm not gonna go out my way, take every screenshot and just populate the video with just stuff, right? I'm pretty sure you guys can just play, stop, pause, read. So I'm just gonna like try to run through every tooltip, and then you guys can do all the pieces together. You know, you guys can take the screenshot via the video for you. Again, I'm not like a very good content creator in this type of guides or review. Basically, I'm just a player. I play the game, I go through it, and then I just talk about it very briefly. So for spec, I think there's two specs. It's a healer and a range damage. I think range magical damage. Let me go through just the spell book first. I will just mouse over them so that you guys can just take, like, you know, you guys can just pause and look at it. But I'm just gonna run through every single tooltip. Hover, launch yourself. Okay. Blessing of the Bronze. Landslide. Deep breath. These are all new, right? I assume these are all new, right? Oh, they can resurrect? Cannot be cast when in combat. Wait, what? Disintegrate. Yeah, this one I need to play to find out more. Right now I'm just going through the tooltip. Okay, and then the devastation. Oh, okay. They don't show you here because it's in the talent tree. Yeah, they don't really show you here, so it's the talent tree. Yeah, they actually have the whole talent tree here. So I'm just gonna go through them, alright. Like I said, you guys can pause, and then you guys can read, then you guys can piece these together. So if you are not interested in the Evoker, and or, you know, don't want to get spoiled by all this stuff, you want to try it yourself, then obviously you guys can completely skip this section. Like I said, I plan to try this in the future. Oh, this is a different one. The one where you choose. I'm just gonna go through them. Holy shit, that's a lot. These are brand new, right? This has to be brand new, right? Don't think I saw any of this information prior to this test. They never really show too much about this class. They just tell you how it might be, how they might play, right? But I don't think they ever show you tooltips and stuff. So yeah, let me do a very quick skim through. Unofficial, badly done video here. Oh, another. Yo, this looks very interesting. Yeah, just reading it through real quick seems very interesting. I'm not like the mage type of guy. I rarely play like caster magical jobs, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna just run through them. Blue spells. Sure, these talent trees. I just hope that they will balance this talent tree properly and not just yet another. Eventually, there's just this one template that everybody run, and then you have another. I hope every single thing in the talent tree is actually useful in any situation, you know? Because the previous up to Shadowlands talent tree is just, I would say maybe only 1/3 of them useful at best. You know, maybe half of them are useful. The other half are just like filler, really useless skills, right? Hopefully this time every single route, every single node have their use in a complete different situation. Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so now you have the PvP. Oh, now, oh, they only have 4 for now, I guess. Maybe they'll add in more. Oh yeah, just 4. Okay, so this one, the Evoker, the class ones are the same, so I'm not gonna go through it again, right? I'm just gonna hover through this healing spec so that you guys can, again, you know, pause, read through it if you're interested. I didn't expect to be like covering this part because I really only want to go through my, just see the changes and the new stuff they add in, right? Never really like think about going through a new job. So actually didn't even notice that this job is like quote unquote finished or seemingly. Like the trees are all there, the abilities are all there, right? I'm pretty sure there will be some changes. Maybe mainly balancing since it's new. Yeah, but let's hope this would help some of you guys. Dude, there's so many stuff. To think that you can probably use all 2/3 of them when you're max level. You know, the one thing scary about talent tree is that good players will be really good picking the right thing, the meta route, the meta nodes, and then bad players will make all the wrong choices, picking all the meme stuff or what they think is good and then not good enough. And then there's gonna be a disparity between like numbers, efficiency because of this. Yeah, what about the healing? Okay, healing get a different PvP spec. Otherwise, some similar ones. Yeah. Okay, that's all about Evoke. Hopefully this didn't take too much time in the video. I want to keep the video short. Again, just merely a playthrough. The last thing I think I can try in this alpha is the crafting. To be honest, I'm not really super interested in crafting. And for this alpha, I think they let you choose alchemy and blacksmith, which I learned already. But in terms of like, you know, what are the new stuff in this crafting, I honestly don't know how I can go around try it. What I can tell you is some of the things I do notice different from Shadowlands crafting at least is that they have this new UI. And I think you can choose to customize more on the things that you craft. And based on the reagent you use, it does seems like you can raise your inspiration, which is like give you bonus skill, which then maybe give you more chance of getting HQ, which is, you know, gain your item level, I would assume. But otherwise, this is as much as I know about crafting in this game. I can't really give too much insight about how I can go around testing this to try it. In the next alpha, in the next beta, if you guys got chance, you guys can look into this more than me. But otherwise, for me, this is as much crafting insight I can give you regarding the alpha build. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. Okay, again, very quickly, just gonna run through the stuff that I just covered. You know, the talent trees, dragon riding, which is amazing. Evoker, the UI changes. Now, obviously, it's just an alpha build. I honestly don't expect everything to be completed. And like I said earlier in my intro, I keep it very honest, I keep it very unbiased, right? This is actually my first time doing a video like this. So obviously, if you finish watching this video, you can tell how scuffed it is. Maybe my editor will make it better, I hope he did. But overall, this is actually my first time getting invited to alpha beta testing where I get to first look on new features. And also given the fact that I want you guys to keep in mind, I'm not a main World of Warcraft player. So obviously, I don't have as much knowledge as some of the experts out there that's obviously going to make a better video than this. But I do want to just provide my very honest opinion, right? I think, to be honest, the core of the game obviously is there already. It's mainly new feature. And now we are like 5 months-ish away from the release. Obviously, there is more things that they will put in for us to test in the coming months, right? But is this gonna be rushed? Is this gonna be okay where you omit a lot of stuff, this expansion, but you keep the good stuff in this expansion? Compared to Shadowlands, where at the beginning they add in a lot of stuff, but we all know that more doesn't mean better. All this micro system made balancing extremely difficult, right? So far, for Dragonflight, from what they were saying, it seems that they are trying to reduce that now. And they revamped the talent tree, they implemented some nice things. Hopefully, Dragonflight will be fine at the beginning. As bad as Shadowlands overall felt, Shadowlands release was good. So I wouldn't be surprised Dragonflight release is also going to be good, but that doesn't end there, right? Any expansion is not going to just be defined on release. And we all see what happened to Shadowlands when they implemented the Domination Shard, the Domination Gear, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people quit that, including me. Because going from wanting to play the game every day in 9.0 to not wanting to play the game, don't even want to log in to play the game, dreaded logging in for raid, and then just completely stop logging Mythic after, you know, a couple of bosses very early into 9.1. Hopefully this time Blizzard will take in more player feedback from the expert and make 10.0 onwards better. I have no doubt 10.0 will be good, but 10.1 or the patches that comes after needs to be consistent and better. Hopefully they don't add in more complicated system, micro system, gearing system, and if they do, hopefully they listen to the player feedback this time for real and make Dragonflight better. And also, I do think that there's a lot of things that needs to be there in the next test. This is the first alpha build test. So obviously, the UI, as you can see during the UI section, you can only adjust hotbar. Dragon riding does seems to be working as intended. I can't wait to see what more they can add in. Talent tree seems to be okay. Hopefully balancing is not a nightmare, and hopefully they are able to balance fights and counters based on the sheer amount of classes and spec that you have in this game. So let's hope they don't overcomplicate it when they already have a system that they can make do and balance the game better already. So yeah, these are the few things that I hope moving forward, the next testing, we get to see more. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. This is the first time I'm doing this video, the first time me even testing stuff like this. It's an experience. Hopefully the next time if I get more chance like this, I can try to do a better job. Otherwise, I will just let my editor do his wonders and maybe make this video more presentable than it already is, because yeah, I just go through it really quickly. So I hope you guys forgive me for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.